You are a drug addict. You might shake your head and say no. You might say, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't take pills. But you are lying to yourself. Look at your hand. What is in it? Or what is within arm's reach? That black rectangle, that piece of glass and silicone. That is your needle. And every time you unlock it, every time you see a red notification badge, every time you scroll down to see a new video, you are taking a hit. You are addicted to cheap dopamine. And this addiction is keeping you poor. Yesterday, we talked about the financial mechanics, we talked about the audit, the debt, and the business, but none of that matters if you cannot sit in a chair for 60 minutes and do the work. And be honest with me, can you? Can you sit in silence, without music, without your phone, without a podcast, and just work on a hard problem for 1 hour? Most of you cannot do it for 10 minutes. You get the itch, you get the urge to check, to see if anyone liked your photo, to see if anyone emailed you, to see what is trending. That itch is the sound of your potential dying. You're fighting a war against the smartest people in the world. Do you think TikTok and Instagram are just fun apps? No, they are weaponized psychology. There are thousands of engineers in Silicon Valley with PhDs in behavioral neuroscience whose only job is to hack your brainstem. They are paid millions of dollars to keep your eyes on the screen, and you think you can beat them with willpower? You cannot. They are winning. They have turned you into a zombie, a consumer zombie who scrolls for 4 hours a day, watching other people live the life you want, while your own life rots away. Welcome to episode 2 of the Money Speedrun. Today, we are not talking about stocks. We are not talking about real estate. We are talking about the hardware that runs your life, your brain. We are going to perform a factory reset on your neurochemistry. We are going to initiate the monk mode protocol. This is going to be painful. This is going to be boring. This is going to feel like withdrawal, because it is withdrawal. But if you can survive the next few weeks of what I am about to teach you, you will possess a superpower that 99% of the population has lost. You will possess the ability to focus. And in an economy of distracted children, the focused man is king. Let us understand the enemy. Dopamine. Dopamine is not pleasure. That is a common misconception. Dopamine is craving. It is the molecule of more. In the wild, this was useful. It made us hunt. It made us seek food. It made us reproduce. It was the engine of survival. You had to work for your dopamine. You had to hunt the deer to get the feeling of reward. You had to build the shelter to feel safe. The reward was tied to effort. But the modern world has hacked this loop. Now you can get the reward without the effort. You can see a naked woman without talking to a girl. You can feel like a warrior by playing a video game without lifting a weight. You can feel social validation by posting a tweet without actually having friends. You're flooding your brain with unearned dopamine. Here is the problem. Your brain has a baseline. When you flood it with high peaks of cheap dopamine, the brain panics. It says, whoa, this is too much. So it downregulates your receptors. It burns out the fuses. This lowers your baseline. Now, normal things feel boring. Reading a book? Boring. Building a business? Boring. Talking to your family? Boring. Because they do not give you the same spike that a 15-second viral video gives you. You have fried your receptors. You are numb. And because you are numb, you seek even more stimulation just to feel normal. It is a death spiral. This is why you are broke. Building a business is hard. It is slow. It requires months of doing unsexy work before you see a dollar. If your brain is wired for instant gratification, you will quit. You will quit the moment it gets hard. You will look for the next shiny object. You will look for the next get-rich-quick scheme because you want the dopamine hit of the new thing. You are chasing the feeling of success instead of doing the work of success. So how do we fix this? We do not taper off. We do not say, oh, I will just use my phone a little bit less. No, you do not tell a heroin addict to just use a little bit of heroin. You go cold turkey. We are going to enter monk mode. Monk mode is a period of immersion. It is a commitment to isolation and focus. It is not permanent. You do not have to live like this forever, but you need to do it long enough to reset your baseline. We are going to talk about the 3 pillars of the monk mode protocol: elimination, isolation, deep work. Let's start with pillar 1, elimination. We need to cut the supply lines of the enemy. You need to remove the sources of cheap dopamine. Here are the rules for the next 30 days. Rule number 1, no short-form content. 0, delete TikTok, delete Instagram, delete YouTube Shorts. These are the crack cocaine of the digital world. They destroy your attention span because they train you to expect a new context every 15 seconds. If you need to use these platforms for your business, you use them on a desktop computer, and you use a newsfeed eradicator plugin. You never consume. You only create. Rule number 2, no video games. I know you love them. They are your escape. That is the problem. They are a simulation of achievement. You are leveling up a digital character while your real life character is level 1. You feel accomplished because you won a match, but you are still broke and out of shape. Sell the console, uninstall the game. If you are a man over the age of 18 and you are not a millionaire, you have no business playing video games. Rule number 3, no adult content. Pornography is the ultimate destroyer of male ambition. It takes your most powerful drive, the drive to reproduce, the drive that built civilizations, and it dissipates it into a tissue. It makes you weak. It makes you docile. It makes you comfortable being a loser because your brain thinks you're reproducing with supermodels every night. Cut it out. Keep that energy. Transmute that energy into aggression and business. Rule number 4, no processed sugar and junk food. Your gut health is directly linked to your brain fog. If you eat garbage, you think garbage. When you spike your blood sugar with a donut, you get a crash 2 hours later. That crash is when you get distracted. That crash is when you nap. We need stable energy, meat, eggs, vegetables, water. That is it. Fuel, not fun. Rule number 5, no drugs and no alcohol. This should be obvious. If you need a drink to relax on Friday, you have a weak reality. Build a life you do not need to escape from. Alcohol creates anxiety the next day. It steals time from tomorrow. We need every hour. This sounds extreme. I can hear you complaining. But what about balance? What about fun? You do not deserve balance yet. You're in a crisis. Your bank account is in a crisis. Your future is burning down. You can have balance when you are free. Right now, you need intensity. Now, pillar 2, isolation. You need to create a black box. This is your environment. You cannot rely on willpower. Willpower is a battery, and it runs out. You must rely on systems. You need to design your environment so that focus is the only option. Look at your workspace. Is it messy? Clean it. A cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. But more importantly, where's the phone? If your phone is on your desk, even if it is face down, even if it is on silent, it is draining your cognitive load. Your brain is spending energy ignoring it. Put it in another room. Put it in a drawer. Lock it in a box. When you're working, you should be physically unable to reach it. You need to tell people you're going dark. Tell your friends, hey, for the next month, I'm working on a major project. I won't be hanging out much. I will reply to texts once a day. Real friends will respect this. Loser friends will mock you. They will say, oh, you're too good for us now? You're acting weird. Let them talk. They are trying to pull you back into the bucket. Isolation is necessary. You need to be alone with your thoughts. Most people are terrified of being alone. Do you know why? Because when the noise stops, the truth comes out. When you don't have a podcast playing or a show watching or music blasting, you have to hear your own internal monologue. And for most of you, that monologue is screaming. It is telling you that you are wasting your life. It is telling you that you are afraid. You drown it out with noise. In monk mode, we let the silence scream. We face the demons. We process the thoughts. And then the silence becomes peaceful. The silence becomes where the ideas come from. Pillar 3, deep work. This is a term coined by Cal Newport, and it is the currency of the new economy. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. This is how you produce value. Answering emails is shallow work. Slack messages are shallow work. Meetings are shallow work. Shallow work keeps you employed. Deep work gets you promoted. Deep work builds the business. We are going to structure your day around deep work blocks. You cannot do deep work for 8 hours. The brain can't handle it. The maximum for a human is usually about 4 hours of true, intense focus. Here's the protocol for a deep work block. First, you define the task. One task. Not work on business. That is too vague. The task is write the sales copy for the landing page. Specific. Second, you set a timer, 90 minutes. Third, you put on headphones. No lyrics. Lyrics engage the language center of your brain. You want instrumental music, Hans Zimmer, movie soundtracks, or my favorite, binaural beats. Look up 40 hertz binaural beats. This frequency has been shown to increase focus and concentration. Fourth, you execute. You do not stop. If you get stuck, you stare at the screen until the answer comes. You do not open a new tab. You do not check the news. You sit in the friction. Friction is the feeling you get right before you break through. When you are writing and it feels hard, that is your brain lifting a heavy weight. That is the reps. If you switch to Instagram the moment it feels hard, you just drop the weight. You got zero gain. You have to stay in the pocket. You have to embrace the boredom of the hard task. After 90 minutes, you stop. You take a break, but not a phone break. Do not scroll. If you scroll, you reset the dopamine. You lost the flow. Your break should be analog. Walk outside, stare at a wall, do push-ups, drink water. Let your brain rest. Do not stimulate it. Then you go back for another 90-minute block. If you do 2 of these blocks a day, that is 3 hours of deep work. You will produce more in those 3 hours than most people produce in a week of 8-hour distracted work days. This is how you speedrun. You're not working longer. You are working deeper. Intensity yields results, not duration. Let's talk about the timeline. What is going to happen to you when you start this? Days 1 through 3. The crash. You will feel lethargic. You will feel irritable. You will have a headache. You will feel bored out of your mind. You will pick up your phone phantomly, realizing it's not there. Your brain is screaming for its fix. It is throwing a tantrum. You must ignore it. This is the weakness leaving the body. Sleep more during these days. Your brain is healing. Days 4 through 7. The fog clears. You will wake up and realize you don't need to check your phone immediately. The colors outside will look a bit brighter. You will find yourself humming a song. Your anxiety will drop. The constant buzzing in the back of your head will go quiet. You will sit down to work, and you will stay there for 20 minutes without twitching. You are stabilizing. Days 7 through 14. The momentum. This is where it gets dangerous. You start feeling good. You start feeling superior. You think, I fixed it. I can have just a little bit of TikTok, just one video. Do not do it. You're still fragile. You are a recovering addict. If you take one hit, you will binge. You will relapse. Stay the course. Days 14 through 30, the new normal. This is where the magic happens. You become a machine. You look at tasks that used to scare you and you just eat them. You read a 30-page contract and you understand every word. You write code for 4 hours straight. You're operating at a higher frequency. People will notice. They will look at you differently. You will have a look in your eye, the look of a predator, the look of someone who is in control. But let's get real about the why. Why are we doing this? Is it just to be productive robots? No. We are doing this because the marketplace punishes the distracted. Look at the economy. AI is coming. Automation is coming. Who is going to lose their job first? The person who does shallow, repetitive work. The person who just moves information from one spreadsheet to another. The person who is distracted, who is safe. The person who can solve complex problems. The person who can learn a new hard skill in a week. The person who can create things that didn't exist before. That requires deep work. That requires a functioning dopamine system. If you cannot control your attention, you cannot control your future. Your attention is your capital. It is the only thing you actually own. When you give it to Netflix, you are paying them. When you give it to the news, you're paying them. Stop paying everyone else with your life. Keep your attention invested in yourself. This is the foundation. Yesterday was the strategy. Today is the mental hardware. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about the tactical business autopsy. But you won't be able to build that business if you are scrolling while you listen to this. So here's your action step for immediately after this audio ends. Do not click on another video. Do not check the comments. Turn off your phone, completely off. Take a piece of paper. Write down your dopamine blacklist. List the apps, the foods, and the habits you're cutting for the next 30 days. Tape that paper to your wall. That is your contract. If you break the contract, you're admitting that you are a slave to a screen. Prove that you are free. You have the mindset, you have the schedule, you have the environment, but there is a biological reality we have to face. You're trying to run a high-performance operating system on hardware from 1990. Your body is the hardware. And for most of you, the hardware is failing. You are inflamed. You are tired. You are running on cortisol and sugar. If we do not fix your biology, your psychology does not matter. You can have all the willpower in the world, but if your blood sugar crashes at 2 p.m., you are going to fall asleep. We are going to perform a biological overhaul. We are going to turn you into a machine that generates energy on demand. Let's start with the foundation. Sleep. I know the hustle culture gurus tell you to sleep 4 hours a night. They tell you, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That is the stupidest advice I have ever heard. That is advice for people who want to burn out in 2 years. We are playing a long game. We are building an empire, not a lemonade stand. To build an empire, you need high-level decision-making capability. When you are sleep deprived, your IQ drops, your emotional control drops, you become reactive, you make bad deals, you get angry at employees, you lose money. Sleep is not passive. Sleep is an active process. It is when your brain activates the glymphatic system. This is the waste removal crew. During the day, your brain builds up metabolic trash, beta amyloid plaques. If you do not sleep 8 hours, the cleaning crew does not finish the job. You wake up with trash still in your brain. That is what brain fog is. It is biological garbage. Here is the sleep protocol for the money speed run. Rule 1, blackout. Your skin has photoreceptors. Even a little bit of light from a street lamp or an alarm clock interferes with your sleep depth. Tape over the LEDs. Buy blackout curtains. If you can see your hand in front of your face, the room is too bright. Rule 2, temperature. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 degrees to enter deep sleep. If your room is warm, your heart rate stays high. You don't recover. Set the thermostat to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're shivering slightly when you get in bed, that is perfect. Rule 3. The mouth tape. This sounds crazy, but listen to me. Most of you breathe through your mouth at night. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. You are stressing your body while you sleep. You wake up with a dry mouth and a headache. Get surgical tape. Tape your mouth shut. You will be forced to breathe through your nose. This increases nitric oxide production. It increases oxygen efficiency. You will wake up feeling like you took a performance-enhancing drug. Now, let's talk about the morning. How you wake up determines how you work. Most of you wake up and look at your phone. You look at the news. You look at the problems of the world. You're starting your day in defense mode. We need to switch to attack mode. The first thing you put in your body is not coffee. It is water and salt. You lose over a pound of water while you sleep. You are dehydrated. Your brain is 70% water. If you are dehydrated, your neurons cannot fire. Drink half a liter of water with a pinch of sea salt immediately. This turns the lights on. Then you need light, not a lamp, sunlight. Get outside. 10 minutes, even if it is cloudy. The photons from the sun hit your retina and set a timer in your brain. It creates a cortisol spike. Cortisol is bad at night, but it is necessary in the morning. It is nature's caffeine. If you miss this window, your circadian rhythm drifts. You will feel tired all day and wired at night. Now, the drug we all love, caffeine. You're using it wrong. You drink it the second you wake up. This is a mistake. When you wake up, your brain is clearing out a chemical called adenosine. Adenosine makes you sleepy. If you drink coffee immediately, the caffeine blocks the adenosine receptors, but it doesn't clear the chemical. It just hides it. Then, at 2 p.m., the caffeine wears off, and all that built up adenosine floods your brain. That is the afternoon crash. The protocol. Wait 90 minutes after waking up before you touch caffeine. Let the body clear the adenosine naturally. Then deploy the weapon. You will have steady energy all day with no crash, but coffee makes you jittery. It makes you anxious. We need to smooth out the curve. This brings us to the supplement stack. I am not a doctor. I am a strategist. This is what I use to maintain focus for 12 hours. Component 1, L-Theanine. This is an amino acid found in green tea. It promotes relaxation without sedation. When you pair it with caffeine, it removes the jitter. It creates calm focus. It is the difference between a shotgun and a sniper rifle. Take 200 milligrams with your coffee. Component 2, creatine monohydrate. You think this is for gym bros? Wrong. Your brain runs on ATP. Creatine helps recycle ATP. It is fuel for your neurons. 5 grams a day. It improves memory and reasoning speed. Component 3, magnesium glycinate. Most high performers are magnesium deficient. Stress burns magnesium. If you don't replace it, you get anxious. You get muscle twitches. You can't sleep. Take this before bed. It will knock you out better than a sleeping pill. Let's pivot to food. In monk mode, food is not entertainment. Food is fuel. If you are eating for pleasure, you are losing. The biggest enemy of your focus is insulin. When you eat a massive bowl of pasta or a sandwich for lunch, your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin to manage it. Then, your blood sugar crashes. This is the food coma. Your body diverts blood from the brain to the stomach to digest the heavy load. You become stupid. The rule: no carbohydrates while the sun is up. Breakfast and lunch should be fat and protein. Eggs, steak, avocado, nuts. Fats provide a slow, steady burn. They do not spike insulin. They keep your energy line flat and stable. You will not get hungry. You will not get tired. You will be a predator. Save the carbs for dinner. Carbs release serotonin. They help you relax. Use them as a tool to help you sleep, not as a hindrance to your work. We need to talk about fasting, the hunter state. Have you ever seen a lion after it eats a gazelle? It sleeps. It is lazy. It is full. Have you seen a lion before it eats? It is alert. It is scanning. It is dangerous. You want to be the hungry lion. I recommend skipping breakfast entirely. Push your first meal to 1 p.m. Work in a fasted state. Your body will run on stored fat. Your mental clarity will go through the roof. This is an evolutionary adaptation. When we were hungry, we had to be smart to find food. We are hacking that survival mechanism to build a business. Now the physical chassis, the gym. You are not training for vanity. We don't care if you have six-pack abs. We care about blood flow. We care about hormones. When you sit in a chair for 10 hours, you're dying. Your blood stagnates. Your hips get tight. Your testosterone drops. You need to lift heavy things. I don't want you spending 2 hours in the gym. That is a waste of time during a speed run. We do the primal flush 3 times a week, 45 minutes. Compound movements only. Squat, deadlift, overhead press, pull-ups, heavy weight, low reps. This stimulates the central nervous system. It tells your body to produce testosterone. Testosterone is the hormone of risk-taking. It is the hormone of drive. High T men make more money. That is a statistical fact. If you are weak physically, you will be weak in the negotiation room. Get in, do the work, get out. Let's discuss the biofeedback loop. You need to learn to listen to your machine. Most people are numb. They have a headache, so they take a pill. They are tired, so they drink a Monster Energy drink. They are masking the signals. In monk mode, we listen. If you are tired, ask why. Did you sleep poorly? Did you eat sugar? If you are anxious, ask why. Did you have too much caffeine? Are you shallow breathing? Treat your body like a scientific experiment. Tweak the variables. If I eat eggs instead of oatmeal, how is my focus? If I stop drinking coffee at noon, how is my sleep? Optimize the algorithm of your biology. We also need to address the visual diet. Your eyes are part of your brain. They are literally brain tissue pushed out of your skull. What you look at affects how you think. If you're working in a cluttered room, your brain is processing that clutter constantly. It drains your battery. If you're looking at screens all day, you're blinking less. Your eyes get dry. This causes fatigue. Use the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20. Feet away for 20 seconds. It resets the optic nerve. It prevents the headache. And for God's sake, clean your desk. A clean desk is a clean mind. I want you to look at your workspace right now. Is there trash? Are there papers from last week? Is there a half-empty water bottle? Throw it away. You are the CEO of your life. Does a CEO work in a landfill? No. Respect your workspace, and your workspace will respect you. Finally, let's talk about sexual transmutation. This is a controversial topic, but we are here for results, not for political correctness. Napoleon Hill wrote about this in Think and Grow Rich. Sexual energy is the most potent form of energy you have. It is the drive to create life. Most men waste this energy. They dissipate it into pornography. They dissipate it into chasing low-value women. When you release that energy cheaply, you lose the drive. You become docile. You become content. In monk mode, we practice retention. We take that frustration, that aggression, that intense desire, and we channel it into the business. When you are sexually frustrated, you are aggressive. You are willing to push harder. Use that. Don't waste it on a pixelated screen. Take that fire and burn it as fuel for your empire. We have now covered the biological hardware. You're sleeping like a pro. You're eating like a predator. You're supplementing like a biohacker. Your engine is tuned. You're vibrating with energy. You are ready to run at redline. But energy without direction is just chaos. A Ferrari spinning its tires creates a lot of smoke, but it doesn't go anywhere. We need traction. We need to apply this focus and this energy to specific high-value skills. In the next section, we are going to break down the deep work mechanics. I'm going to teach you how to structure a 4-hour work block so you produce more than your competition produces in a month. We are going to talk about the writer's protocol, the coder's protocol, and the salesman's protocol. We are going to give you the weapon systems to mount on your new chassis. Part 4 is where the rubber meets the road. Stay with me. We are halfway up the mountain. You have built the engine. You have fueled it with the right food. You have tuned it with the right sleep. You are vibrating with energy. But now we face the most dangerous trap in the entire speed run. The trap of busy work. You can be the most focused, energetic person in the world. But if you spend 12 hours a day digging a hole in the wrong direction, you are just an energetic idiot. You are efficient, but you are not effective. There is a massive difference. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. In monk mode, we do not care about clearing the inbox. We do not care about having a perfectly organized desktop. We care about the lever. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough, and I will move the world." In business, your lever is the task that generates the highest return on your time. We need to install a filtering system in your brain. Every time you sit down to work, you must pass your tasks through the money matrix. Draw a square. Divide it into 4 boxes. Box 1 is high impact, low effort. These are the golden tickets. Sending a follow-up email to a warm lead, posting a piece of content you already created. Do these immediately. Box 2 is high impact, high effort. This is the deep work zone. Building the product, writing the sales letter, creating the course. This is where you spend 80% of your energy. Box 3 is low impact, low effort. Answering random emails, Slack messages, tweaking the color of your logo. Delegate this, or do it in the zombie hours when you are tired. Box 4 is low impact, high effort. Trying to code your own website when you don't know how to code. Trying to figure out tax law by yourself. Kill this. Do not do it. Hire a professional or ignore it. Most of you spend your life in box 3 and box 4. You feel busy. You feel like you are hustling. But you are just spinning your wheels. You are avoiding the scary work in box 2 by doing the easy work in box 3. That is fear disguised as productivity. Now, let us get specific. I promised you the execution protocols for the 3 main archetypes of the speedrun. You generally fall into one of these 3 categories: the builder, the wordsmith, or the rainmaker. Archetype 1, the builder. You're a coder, a designer, a video editor, or a product developer. Your value comes from creating a complex asset. Your enemy is context switching. If you are writing code, you are holding a massive mental model in your head. You are visualizing the database, the logic, the front end. It is a house of cards. If someone taps you on the shoulder or your phone buzzes, the house of cards collapses. It takes you 20 minutes to rebuild it. Here is the builder protocol. You need long, uninterrupted blocks, 4 hours minimum. You cannot use the Pomodoro technique where you work for 25 minutes and break for 5. That is for amateurs. That breaks your flow. You go until you break. You need the black box, no internet. If you need to look up documentation, you do it on a separate device or you batch your research. Write pseudocode first. Do not touch the keyboard until you have the logic written on paper. Thinking is high impact. Typing is low impact. Most developers type first and think later. That is why their code is messy. That is why they have bugs. Think for an hour. Type for an hour. You will be 10 times faster. Archetype 2, the wordsmith. You are a copywriter, a script writer, a content creator, or a ghostwriter. Your value comes from persuasion. Your enemy is the blank page. The blank page is terrifying. It stares at you. It judges you. You want it to be perfect. So you write a sentence, then you delete it. You write a headline, then you change it. 3 hours later, you have nothing. Here is the wordsmith. Protocol. Split your personality in 2. The creator and the editor. They cannot be in the same room at the same time. When you are creating, you are the madman. You do not check spelling. You do not check grammar. You do not check facts. You just vomit words onto the page. Get the vomit draft done. It will be terrible. It will be messy. That is okay. You cannot edit a blank page. You can edit a bad page. Use the TK method. If you need a statistic or a fact, do not stop to Google it. If you open Google, you will end up on Wikipedia reading about the history of the Roman Empire. Just write the letters T and K, which is journalism code for to come. The market grew by TK%. Keep writing. Once the draft is done, you switch hats. You become the editor. The editor is cold. The editor is ruthless. The editor fills in the facts and cuts the fluff. Never write and edit in the same session. Write in the morning. Edit in the evening. Archetype 3, the rainmaker. You are in sales. You do outreach. You do cold calls. You close deals. Your value comes from emotional resilience. Your enemy is call reluctance. You stare at the phone. You imagine the person yelling at you. You imagine the rejection. You procrastinate. You research the prospect for 30 minutes just to make a 2-minute call. That is fear. Here is the Rainmaker protocol. You need gamification. You cannot focus on the result, which is the sale. You can only focus on the activity, which is the dial. You cannot control if they say yes. You can control if you dial the numbers. Set a standard. Say, I will make 50 dials before I stand up. Put 50 paper clips in a bowl. Every time you dial, move a clip to the other bowl. Do not stop until the bowl is empty. This disconnects your ego from the outcome. You're just moving paper clips. Use the power hour. Stand up. Do not sit. Your voice sounds different when you stand. Your diaphragm is open. You project confidence. Play aggressive music. Sales is a transfer of energy. If you're low energy, you will not close. The prospect buys your certainty, not your product. Batch your calls. Do not make a call, then write an email, then check Slack. Make 50 calls in a row. You will enter a social flow state. By the 10th call, you will be loose. You'll be witty. You will be unstoppable. Whichever archetype you are, you need to master the art of batching. Your brain has a setup cost for every task. If you check email 5 times a day, you pay the setup cost 5 times. If you check it once, you pay it once. Group similar tasks. Do all your filming on Monday. Do all your editing on Tuesday. Do all your writing on Wednesday. This is how Elon Musk runs 5 companies. He has a Tesla day and a SpaceX day. He does not switch back and forth every hour. If you treat your week like a factory assembly line, you will produce massive volume. But there's a dark side to this intensity. As you push your machine to the limit, you're going to encounter a new enemy. Burnout. Real burnout. Not, I am tired burnout. I mean staring at the wall, unable to move burnout. The monk mode protocol is high voltage. If you're not careful, you will fry your nervous system. You need a cooling system. We talked about sleep. We talked about weekends, but you need micro-recovery. You need non-sleep deep rest, or an SDR. This is a protocol used by the Navy SEALs and Silicon Valley CEOs. It is a 20-minute guided relaxation. You lay on the floor. You listen to a script that slows your brainwaves from beta, which is alert, to alpha and theta, which is dreamy. 20 minutes of NSDR is equivalent to 3 hours of sleep for your dopamine recovery. Do this at 2 p.m. Instead of the afternoon coffee, do the NSDR. You will wake up and feel like you just started the day. It is a biological reset button. Use it. Let's talk about the feedback loop. How do you know if monk mode is working? You cannot manage what you do not measure. Every Sunday, you need to do a weekly review. This is not optional. This is the steering wheel. Ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1, what did I get done? Look at the output, not the hours. Question 2, where did I waste time? Be honest. Did you slip? Did you scroll? Question 3, what do I need to change for next week? Do I need to wake up earlier? Do I need to block a specific website? If you do not review, you will drift. You will think you're working hard, but you're actually just repeating bad habits. Data is the antidote to delusion. Look at the numbers. If you sent 500 emails and got 2 meetings, the conversion rate is 0.4%. Why? Is the script bad? Is the list bad? Now you are a scientist. You are tweaking the variables. Most people just say it didn't work and they quit. Winners say, the data says X, so I will try Y. We are nearing the end of the mental and physical programming. You have the software, which is the mindset. You have the hardware, which is the biology. You have the operating system, which is the workflow. But there is one final piece of the puzzle, the most difficult piece, the crash. What happens when you fail? Because you will fail. You will have a day where you sleep in. You will have a day where you binge eat. You will have a day where you lose a client. Most people let one bad day turn into a bad month. And they say, oh, I broke the streak. I might as well give up. This is the all or nothing fallacy. If you get a flat tire on your car, do you slash the other 3 tires? No, you change the tire and keep driving. In the final section, we are going to talk about anti-fragility, how to build a mind that doesn't just survive failure, but gets stronger because of it. We are going to take the oath, and we are going to send you out into the wild. The speed run is not a sprint. It is a series of sprints. And you need to know how to pick yourself up when you hit the concrete. You are going to crash. I am not being pessimistic. I am being statistical. No human being can run at 100% efficiency forever. There will be a day, maybe next week, maybe next month, where the demons win. You will wake up late. You will skip the cold shower. You will eat the donut. You will scroll TikTok for 3 hours. You will feel like garbage. You will look at your monk mode contract on the wall and feel like a fraud. This is the moment that kills 99% of entrepreneurs. They view success as a glass vase. They think if they drop it once, it is shattered forever. They think, well, I ruined the streak. I might as well quit. This is the fragility of the amateur. The amateur looks for perfection. The professional looks for consistency. We need to install a new mental operating system called anti-fragility. This is a concept from Nassim Taleb. Something that is fragile breaks under stress. A glass is fragile. Something that is robust stays the same under stress. A rock is robust. But something that is anti-fragile gets stronger under stress. A muscle is anti-fragile. You tear it in the gym and it grows back bigger. Your will is a muscle. When you fail, you have a choice. You can let the failure break you, or you can use the failure as data to build a stronger system. Here is the rule for the crash. The never miss twice rule. If you miss a workout, that is an accident. If you miss 2 workouts, that is the start of a new habit. You are not allowed to miss twice. If you binge eat on Tuesday, you do not beat yourself up. You do not spiral into shame. Shame is a low energy emotion. Shame keeps you in bed. Instead, you get analytical. Why did I binge? Oh, I didn't eat enough protein at lunch. Okay, I will fix that tomorrow. Wednesday morning, you are back on the protocol. You reset to 0. You attack with double the intensity. The recovery speed matters more than the perfection of the streak. The man who falls down 10 times and gets up 10 times is stronger than the man who never fell. You need to embrace the concept of amor fati. This is Latin for love of fate. Whatever happens, you love it. You lost a client? Good. Now you have time to find a better client. You got rejected? Good. Now you have thicker skin. You burned out? Good. Now you know your limit. Everything is fuel. If you view the world this way, you become invincible, because nothing can hurt you. The worst things that happen to you become the best lessons for your biography. When you're standing on stage in 10 years telling your story, nobody wants to hear about how easy it was. They want to hear about the crash. They want to hear how you survived. You are writing that chapter right now. Let's talk about the timeline. We call this money speed run, so you probably think you should be a millionaire by next Friday. Let me correct your expectations. Speed run means we are moving fast in the micro, but we are building for the macro. You are compressing the work. You are doing in 1 year what normal people do in 10 years, but it still takes the year. The first quarter, from months 1 to 3, is the valley of death. You are working hard. You're making 0 money. You're tired. Everyone thinks you're crazy. This is where you pay the price of admission. The second quarter, months 4 to 6, is the first blood. You get a client, you make a sale. You see the proof of concept. You're not rich, but you are profitable. The third quarter, months 7-9, is the scale. You have systems, you have confidence. The compound interest starts kicking in. The fourth quarter, months 10-12, is the velocity. This is where you make more in a month than you used to make in a year. Most people quit in month 2. They quit in the valley of death. They are 3 feet from gold and they turn around. Do not be that person. You have to commit to the year. Give me 12 months of monk mode and I will give you the rest of your life. Now we need to address the lonely top. As you ascend, you will lose people. We talked about this, but you will also find new people. You need to seek out the wartime friends. Peacetime friends are fun. They are good for a beer. Wartime friends are useful. They are good for a strategy session. You find them in the trenches. You find them in the masterminds. You find them in the comments section of channels like this. Look for the people who are speaking the same language. The language of growth. The language of accountability. Build a new tribe. A tribe of lions. Because a lion walking with sheep will eventually forget how to roar. We are at the end of the protocol. You have the blueprint. The rest is just noise. You can listen to 1,000 more podcasts. You can read 1,000 more books. But until you sit in the chair and do the work, nothing changes. We are going to seal this pact with the oath. I want you to say this. You don't have to say it out loud if you are in public, but say it in your head. Mean it. I refuse to be average. I refuse to accept the life that was handed to me. I am the architect of my reality. I will not be distracted. I will not be defeated. I will do the work when I am tired. I will do the work when I am uninspired. I am building a legacy. The old version of me is dead. The speed run begins now. Listen to the silence that follows this video. That silence is your canvas. Do not fill it with music. Do not fill it with scrolling. Fill it with action. Go to your desk. Open the laptop. Make the call. Write the code. The clock is ticking. Every second you waste is the second you're not free. You have the map. You have the vehicle. You have the fuel. Drive. This concludes episode 2 of the Money Speed Run. In episode 3, we stop talking about the mind and we start cutting open the body of business. We are going to perform a live autopsy on a business model that is generating $10,000 a month right now. I will show you the emails. I will show you the offer. I will show you the mistakes. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure notifications are on. You do not want to miss the tactical deep dive. Now get to work.